What's up? What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Monday and Victoria Day? If you could please hit that like button. If you could please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that would be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of all of my videos. So what's up, what's up, what's up? I just felt like I'd pop in here, say what's up. You know, I haven't been doing as many videos lately. I've just been super busy, but we'll catch up. You guys already know that. Canadian person. Yes, you might actually catch one. Hey, Matt, what are your thoughts on Penitang Super Jail? Did you ever do any time with any high-profile people? I have a video on the Penitang Super Jail. I think they're all the same, man. Basically, I think at different times, some will be more violent. I think Maplehurst is a little bit more violent than whether you're in Lindsay or Penitang. But at the end of the day, there's lots of guys in those places. And at the end of the day, they can get a little out of control at times. NTFD3, happy Victoria Day, brother. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No more of that prison stuff. No more of that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of life. And it's not the answer. Especially at these times we're going through right now. You want to be locked up right now? I don't ever want to be locked up again because I don't really trust what's going on. Sorry. But I just, I don't want to go back to jail, man. I want to be able to make sure I'm good. I'm definitely excited about June 14th for sure. Real me, man. What's up? Halifax living. Shout out to Halifax. Yeah, Canadian person for sure, man. You should come on for an interview, man. It's not easy getting interviews of guys that have done real time. And I would like to do some more of those where guys can share their stories and really kind of let people know that it's not the answer. I've just been really busy, so I really haven't been like trying to get too many interviews and stuff. I do have an interview that's supposed to be coming up soon. I was actually supposed to do it this weekend, but I'm going to reach out to him in the next few days. Not that he's done a crazy amount of time, but I just think he's got a good perspective, and he's from Quebec. Hood Stories with King Ruck. What up, man? No, man, I don't play video games. I don't. I've never been a gamer. I don't have the patience for it. After 5-10 minutes, I'm bored. I don't enjoy it. Yeah, you never know, though. Real me. Guys used to call me a Peabody back then. I don't advertise my prison time now. Bad for business. I get it. Makes perfect sense, though. And that's why it's hard to get interviews, because I'm not trying to really do a ton of interviews with guys that are still involved. You know, I'm more about a message of change. And a lot of people that have changed their life don't really want to put on blast that they used to live that way in the first place, especially if they've been able to escape it. But the interviews come and go, and they come in flurries. Hey, Matt, you ever met a guy called Mike Belias? I don't know him. No, I don't know him. The name sounds familiar, but no, I do not know him. Edwards. I wouldn't say that I've had specific run-ins with any biker gangs, but there are definitely biker gangs throughout the prison system. And if you've done any kind of time, you've probably done time with somebody from each one. But what else is going on today? What is the topic of conversation? What do you guys want to talk about? And how are all you guys doing? To be honest, like how's everything going? You guys all coping with this? Okay. You know, it's not easy to be cooped up all the time and to be told you can't do this, you can't do that, when we're supposed to have rights as citizens, you know? So I think it's a little crazy. But especially when the weather's nice like this sunlight, people need to get out in this. They need to be able to go outside and experience this. Like, seriously, it's the most beautiful year we've had in a long time here in Southern Ontario. Like, literally every day is warm and beautifully sunny. Very little rain. It's great. It's not just like prison, but it's still kind of like that, you know. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's not like it is locked down, but at the same time, it's not like you're able to go out and get the necessities and you can, do what you got to do. So it's not exactly the same as being totally locked down. But at the end of the day, it's still encroachment on your rights, and still BS. Thank you, Mark LeBlanc. I appreciate that. David Perron, do I still talk to DBC Ash? Actually, it's funny you asked. I haven't heard from DBC Ash for a long time. So I don't know what he's been doing. He hasn't reached out. I don't know if he's doing videos anymore. I think sometimes it's difficult for guys because, guys expect to come on YouTube and just get a bunch of views right off the bat. And I think that the small percentage of people that are instant success on YouTube doesn't really show the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, 17 years, brother. 17 years, Josh. Mario, man, what up? Okay, he's homeless again. Well, I hope he's okay. Maybe I'll reach out to him and see if he's okay. How often do the coppers check on you if you're on house arrest? It depends, man. They might not ever check on you. It depends on who you are, what kind of a record you have, what kind of a history you have, what kind of charges you're on. A lot of the time, they're not going to waste their time checking on you. They're just going to let you get pulled over or something like that. Knowing you've done a lot of time, and where was the most comfortable place you've done your time? I would have to say Mimico Correctional Center was the easiest place that I've done time, except for Fembrook Penitentiary, which is super comfortable. You cook your own food. You live good. You don't get much better than that. What's dangerous offender and long-term offender designation? So a dangerous offender basically gives you an indefinite sentence. So once you've been sentenced to a dangerous offender, you have an indefinite life sentence, but there is no date. It's not like Life 25 or anything like that where you get an automatic parole hearing. You may go for a parole hearing every 2, 3, 4, 5, however many years, but rarely the dangerous offenders in Canada get out. Long-term offender status is different. So it's 10 years of supervision following all of your sentences. It's basically like being on federal parole for an extended 10 years. And any time that you get arrested, it stops and you have to start over again when you get out. It just turns everything into a crazy long sentence. Hey, Matt, I hope you had a great long weekend. Have you been to Collins Bay Pen or know what serving time there is like? I've never personally been there. I have lots of friends that have been there. I have friends that are there currently right now. And it's the same as any other pen. If you go in there, act in a certain way, make problems for yourself, it can be a real bad place. But if you just do the proper things and move properly, you could do some pretty easy time. You could chill, smoke, Have I ever had to fight anyone? Really? Hold on one sec. My nose is really being bothered by allergies. Sorry about that. Have I ever had to fight anybody? I fought lots of people. Anytime you go to prison for extended amounts of years, you're going to fight a lot. There's not really anything you can do about that. You might not fight all the time because you don't want to fight, but if, sometimes you got to fight. Sometimes you don't really have a choice. Because if you don't fight, then the rest of your time is going to be real rough. So definitely, I've had to fight quite a few people over my years and years and years. I wouldn't say that I've had to fight for my life. No. I say maybe a little bit. I got jumped bad on the streets one time, which I still don't know if I would say I was fighting for my life, but I guess anytime you get jumped like that, bad things can happen. But in prison, no, I never had to fight for my life because I didn't do anything shady, and I never had prison beef. Never once did I have real prison beef. I got in some one-on-one fights. I got beef with some dudes that aren't really like a huge problem because I fought them, but does fighting get you more time? Does fighting get you more time, though? It depends. It depends. I guess if you really hurt somebody and you get street charged because they have to go out to the hospital or something, but just a one-on-one fight, most likely you're not going to get more time. What up, Matt? Hope you're having a blessed long weekend. You already know, Paul. Appreciate that. Allergies. You're right there, Christopher. Nothing been going up there for a long time, my friend. Seek no evil, get no evil. That's what I'm saying. You get what you give. The energy you put out there is the energy you get back, and that's just the way it is. You just do your time, you'll be good. The Toronto South Detention Center was the most comfortable place for you. Not the Toronto South, Mimico Correctional Center. It's not the same. Mimico Correctional Center was on the property before the Toronto South was ever there. It was Toronto Youth Assessment Center, one half of the building, and then Mimico Adult Correctional Center on the other half of the building, which was also where they did the weekenders. They had Big Thunder Dorm where all the weekenders went in, and then they had some dorms where guys would do, 3 month, 6 month, 9 months, 1 year sentences, like fairly short sentences, provincial time. And it's just easy touch visits, easy time. You ever looking to get in it? I do have a printout here somewhere of all of my record. It's like 60-something convictions. Most of it was from young offender. Like obviously I have 3 federal sentences as an adult, so I have charges. But when I was a young offender, I was stupid, so I'd get like 25 charges at one time, and then I plead out and get like 4 or 5 convictions, and they drop a bunch of charges. What they do. I never tried the Mike Tyson OG. See, I did lots of time in the West. I never had any problems in the West, never had any problems in the East. And I almost got in one fight in the Don, but I never did get in a fight in the Don. I don't know. I just found that I always did good time in Toronto. I don't know if it was because I grew up there. I just knew a lot of guys there from the jail system. I started in TIAC, so a lot of the guys that were in the pen and stuff from when I was growing up, we knew each other. From before they were super in the streets and killing people and doing what it was they were doing. I definitely smoke weed. Yeah. Maplehurst does suck. You're right, Miz. The Don is nuts if you're not from the city. Like any Toronto jail is like any other jail. If you're from there, you're comfortable, you don't have problems, you're going to be okay. You're going to do a good time. If you go in there and you got a bunch of gang politics and stuff, and maybe you land on the opposite block, then it could be rough for you. But really, if you move like a proper dude and don't move like a waste man, don't do shady shit, stand up for yourself when you need to, you're going to do okay no matter where you do time. Just is what it is. People can see the people that are meant to be there and who aren't. And that's just how they look at it, Exeter Road's serious right now. Lots of people have died in that jail over the last 5 or 6 years. Someone brings in smokes from a trailer visit with family and they cannot fight. Will they get punked off with their smokes? It depends. It depends, bro. It just depends on how people respect you, because not everybody who does anything's tough. It's just how do people look at you? Now, the federal system's a lot different. It's not like total savage domination like that all the time. Not everybody who has respect is tough. A lot of guys, they're just good guys. People like them. They don't move weird. They're just not the toughest fighter, but they're not a punk. You know what I mean? But I would say not necessarily. I was in KPTD unit, which is the parole violators unit. You're only there for a couple weeks at a time. But, you know, just like any other prison. Okay, real me, you holler at me, brother. Blue Water hockey games in the 90s. Hockey games anywhere. Go to Joyceville when the hockey was tight, like 2006, 2000, 2007, 2008. You had the Biffa team facing off against my buddy Grizz's team, and those teams would battle, man. It was physical. There was fights. Guys would be getting smashed into the stairs. The whole gym would just be packed with people watching the games. It's some serious games, man. No fights, including 6 months in Dawn. Almost taxed, but tucked my way out. New good people. Support Northern Ontario. You already know. Got a question for you. If you fail at your appeal, does your time start over again? It depends. I would say most likely not. But anytime you go to an appeal, your sentence can be extended. If you appeal your sentence, it can be extended. I've seen that happen to guys. If you're just appealing the conviction, then that might not happen. But there's a lot of different things that can happen when you go for appeal. I knew some 1%ers. Like, obviously, I'm not going to talk their names on here, but I definitely knew some 1%ers on the inside. Adam Kargas, he died brutally. Pretty much anybody who dies in prison dies brutally. You know, there's no nice way to die in prison. I guess you could like overdose or something and not go through pain. But if you're being attacked, it's going to be rough, man. You're going to see a lot of people staring at you. People going to be laughing at you. It's a different situation than you think, because by the time something like that happens, the jail's turned on you. You know, people know it's coming. So people are excited to see it. You got a lot of crazy people. Now, it might not always intentionally be a murder, but sometimes things can get out of hand. Beatings can get out of hand. I've seen it happen a few times where if it wasn't for somebody saying, yo, guys, chill out, somebody else probably would have died. And it's just a miracle, really, that I've only seen one person get murdered in all my years. But, you know, I've seen prisons literally turn on somebody in one night and they're going on a fry basket and they have no idea why. You know, there's a lot of manipulation going on. There's a lot of he said, she said stuff going on behind people's backs, broken telephone. You know, there's a lot of gossip in prison. You wouldn't think so. You think that it's all men, so there shouldn't be a bunch of gossip, but there is. There's tons of gossip. Yeah, you'll lose good time in the bucket in provincial. If you're doing less than 2 years, say you get like 9 months. So 6 months is your 2/3 your stat. You can lose some of that last 90 days if you're messing around. You know, you can, if you get in a couple fights or something like that, they might take like a week of your good time and say you can't get canteen for a month or 2 months and really make your time rough. If you're in provincial, you're better off just to stay in the detention side. Whenever I was in Lindsay and stuff, guys would just refuse to go over to the correctional side because it sucks over there. There's nobody coming. There's no piff. There's barely any bogeys. Only when new guys like get shipped from other jails and stuff, maybe something will land there, but they just do shitty time, hard time. Correctional time's rough. But I still recommend it over taking federal time and getting yourself caught up with a federal record if you can avoid it. How do you find what pen someone is located? You can't. That's the thing about the penitentiary. You can't. You just kind of got to shoot a quick letter to each pen because they will not disclose who's in the penitentiary. Now, if you're in a provincial system, you can call like the courts, you can call like the provincial jails, and they'll tell you, but not there, not in federal. What up, Joe Gelato? What you saying, man? I think with COVID, people are losing commissary. Yeah, maybe they can't come in. Maybe they're not able to bring it in. Maybe they get like a limited commissary. I'm sure it's really rough in prison right now. I'm sure they're locked down all the time, shortage of staff, or just for COVID protocol and stuff like that. Man, I wouldn't want to be in jail right now, and I don't wish that on nobody. Nobody. What happens when you first walk into juvenile? I'd say that just depends. You're going to get checked for sure. They're going to probably roll up to you and try to take your dessert or something. You got to stand up for yourself. So I never personally got beat up right away. I stood up for myself. But it's scary. But you have to stand up for yourself. You can't just allow people to punk you. And I remember the first time I went in, I got punked off for a fish stick, but I didn't realize it was a punk off. I wasn't really into it. Like, I was stressed that I was even in TIAC in the first place, and I wasn't really knowing any of the rules and stuff. I was brand new. So when he asked for it, I just thought he was asking for it. But then my buddy told me after, he's like, bro, you can't let nobody ask you for your food. People are going to want to punk and blah, blah, blah. So then I had to shut it down. It was intimidating, but I listened when I got to TIAC, guys that I saw and that I got along with at court and stuff. They said, look, bro, they're going to put you on 7A. Get off of there as soon as you can. People see you living there and content there. They're going to start saying that you're protective custody. So that's what you do. You force your way off 7A. Anytime they come calling, anybody want to go to a different range? A lot of guys won't want to go. I'm going later. I am not allowed to have or own firearms. I have a lifetime weapons ban. But I definitely would be allowed to leave the country. I just wouldn't be allowed to go everywhere. I wouldn't be allowed to go to USA. I wouldn't be allowed to go to Australia. I wouldn't be allowed to go to Great Britain. What was it about J-Unit back in the day that made it such a known unit? Everybody knows someone who is in J-Unit. I just think that J-Unit was the highest security prison in the province. Every killer went through there. Every gangster who has a bad reputation in the system for being violent goes through there. And if you're general population, that's where you go. And, there's not very many guys that go through that system that way and last. So, it's any maximum security prison, violence pops off. And when violence does pop off, it's way more serious than in the lower jails. People are typically trying to actually kill somebody rather than just punch them out. Yeah, were you was I there when they stopped smoking? Actually, I was. So they took smoking out May 2008. They gave us like some warning and said that they were going to be taking it out in like 6 months. So guys started stashing away bales and packs, as many as they could. I'm telling you, they'd bring like a mini excavator into the garden and dig it all up and find like 100 bales buried under the garden and stuff. But it wasn't as difficult as you think, because when there is no cigarettes, you don't really Jones for it. It's a mental thing, totally mental thing. For me, the day I got arrested, I no longer was addicted to cigarettes. It's like I knew they weren't going to be there and just let it go. And I never went through that. But then if I try to quit cigarettes out here, it's impossible. So that's just the way that stuff goes, But prison's never the answer, and no matter what prison you go to, whether it's J-Unit, whether it's Fembrook, whether it's a, Mimico correctional kind of jail where you're only there for a few months, you're still losing your freedom. You're still losing your connection with nature and with the people that you love. And even for a short amount of time, that affects you deep down in your soul. And it can start making you accept those losses. And the more you lose, the less you care and the colder you become. And then eventually you don't give a shit about nothing. And it becomes a F the world kind of attitude. I definitely have been there lots of times. Hey, Matt, do you think after this we're going to another lockdown? I have no idea. I stopped trying to predict all that stuff. At the end of the day, you think one thing and then it's another. They tell you one thing, it's another. I don't even bother trying. Was there more violence before or after they banned cigarettes? I'd definitely say before. I think that because cigarettes were also income, they strengthened up the drug game. Anybody could buy drugs. Anybody could buy this. Anybody could buy that. It opened up the door for everybody. Therefore, a lot of people would get packs on loan, couldn't pay for it because it was for drugs. They don't have anything to pay for it, but it's easy to get packs. So then they get smashed over the packs or killed over a carton. I definitely say prior to cigarettes going out, the system was way worse. Eddie Spaghetti. What's up, Eddie? Out since 2015 and staying out, brother. Thanks for the vids and many you served. And many years, sir, 15 or so. Yeah, see, I caught my last bid in 2015. D Diddy, what's up? Yeah, I think I have seen that Canadian person. Was there more hardcore criminals then or now? I would definitely say then. The system was crazy. I'm telling you, when I first came through the system, it was so much more violent. So much more violent. People get stabbed in their neck regular, in their face. Like, it still happens, but I just think that the prisons were a lot more serious before. There wasn't enough, I don't know. They're just more serious before. I'm not sure yet there, Mr. Thompson. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist like everybody else is. I don't think it's DNA changing and it's all crazy. We'll see. I just want to get out, man. I want to be able to start traveling. I want to live life, you know. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, I got about 2 more minutes on here. If you got one last question before I get out of here, I want you guys to go enjoy your Victoria Day. Tell you a story. It's hard to get a story off the top like that, bro. It's hard for me to do that, man. I don't really have a story off the top of my head right now. I'd just say that understand that at any time in prison, your life can flash before your eyes. I've seen guys get attacked suddenly. I saw a guy get a weight bar attacked suddenly, and all of a sudden your whole life is upside down. You're caught up in some violence, this and that, and your life changes. It changes. You already know, Joe. Next time I come on, I'll tell you a story. You guys already know. Love each and every one. The new Matt Clark.